So what are we looking for today?
Black raspberries.
Black raspberries. Yep, there's some black raspberries and just a couple blackberries. So we're looking down here in the fields for black raspberries today. They grow all along the edge there. Ready? Let's go.
Yeah, come on. Yay. Bursting down my way. I was thinking the boys tried to eat them all.
So these are all the little black raspberries. Did he get you?
Out 3 times.
No, I'll help you. So these are just starting to ripen. You can see there a couple of those are starting to turn black. Really, it's like a deep purple, but once they get to this shade, they are ready to be harvested. So this is really the early end of the season for us. We'll have quite a few more coming in the next week. These are the wine berries. They should be coming in soon. Won't be too much longer. As we go up the mountain, that's where most of our blackberries are, and they're starting to come in, so we're going to go pick some of them. We never really know how many berries we're going to find till we get out here and start looking, huh?
Nope.
Sometimes it's a whole lot, sometimes it's just a couple cups.
Oh, one yet.
So we've soaked, washed, and capped all of our berries. We've got some blackberries, we had some black raspberries, and then we had a couple wine berries. As the season goes on, we'll actually get a lot more wine berries. But for the blackberries, we really like that in what we consider a wild berry syrup, so that's what we're gonna make today. We're gonna heat this up, we're gonna get it to a boil, and then simmer it for 5 minutes. So our 5 minutes is up. I'm gonna go ahead and start ladling this over. I'm just using a fine strainer. This has fine enough holes that it catches any of the berry seeds. And then I'm also using a container that will measure for me how many cups of juice I have. That way I'll know for how many cups of sugar I need. If you're trying to save the seeds, you can use like the machines used for tomato paste. Or for like applesauce, those type machines, you can send your berries through that before you do this and you'll have just juice to use. But I'm going to go ahead and get these straining. So we ended with 2 cups of juice. We're going to heat that up on the stove here with some lemon juice. For each cup of berry juice you have, you want to do 1 teaspoon of lemon juice. And then we're going to do 1 cup of sugar for every cup of berries, so 2 cups of sugar. And we're going to bring this to a boil. Alright, so we let this boil for 1 minute. Once you get it to a boil, you can just let it simmer for the remaining minute. And then we're going to jar this up. We're going to do 1/2 inch headspace in these. I'm using the metal flats today, for one, because it's just a little bit easier, but then we're going to water bath them. Now, when I talked about earlier that you can use the metal lids, the rings, to make a water bath out of any pot, this is what I'm talking about. You can lay them in the bottom and it doesn't allow the jars to fall through or touch the bottom of the pan. So we're going to water bath them for 15 minutes and they will be all done. So today we are celebrating something. What are we celebrating?
Us finishing our tests.
Yeah, finishing our test for homeschooling. Everybody passed and did really well on them, so we're going to make a pound cake to celebrate it. So we've got our pound cake started. It's really important that your ingredients like your eggs and butter are at room temperature. Ours are already there, but we're using 5 eggs and 1 stick of butter. And Lance is going to help us do the sugar. We're going to do 3 cups of sugar. Do you remember how to do it?
Just scoop some off. I should know.
And then we just level it off. That's good. So that'll be 1
here. Come back up here. Come on. Hell.
Wait a second, let me help you, okay? You scoop it in and then up. Like that, okay?
Okay.
There we go. Do it.
What did Peter have to do?
3. Peter gets to do,
Vanilla.
yep, our vanilla and lemon extract. So we're gonna, do you have your teaspoon or half a teaspoon? We're gonna do 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla extract.
Wait,
You open the vanilla for us?
It's hard, even for me.
You can get it. All right, so let me help with this one. You can open the one Lizzie's got, and I can let you do that one, okay?
Lizzie, yeah,
let
don't
me get
you
this one
shake
in
it.
real quick. So we do 1.5 teaspoons
Wait,
of
it's
vanilla
open
extract. 1.
Lizzie, wait. You shake your hand.
There we go. All right, so let's get that one, Lizzie. Peter, you want to hold this? Can you hold this for us?
Change.
Now you don't have to do the lemon extract, but it's a very, very mild lemon flavor to it. All right, hold it over here. We're gonna do 2 teaspoons of lemon. You gotta hold it level, so hold it on the edge like this. There you go, that makes it easier for you. So 1,
Yellow.
2, hold it level. 3, there you go. 4, good job, Peter. All right. And next, we are going to blend this. So we want to blend it until it's all nice and mixed. Once you've started to get that blended well, you're going to add your shortening. It's 1 cup of shortening. Once it gets nice and fluffy like this, you're good.
One more time.
That's all right. So from here, we're going to add our baking powder and salt. So 1 teaspoon of salt. A little bit more off. You can use your finger if you need to level it.
1. There's a new one. No, our old one. Okay.
Good job. And then we're going to do, let's see, 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder. And so it's going to be 3 of those.
Our old new one had a little bit wet. Here 1.
Now, preferably you would actually sift these together, the flour, the baking powder, and the salt. I typically just don't. I just kind of go with it. But if your flour is really clumpy, then yeah, it would be important too. Now as we blend this, we're going to add in the milk slowly just to help it stir everything together. And here after a minute we'll have to take it off and scrape the sides just to make sure everything gets mixed in well. And this is what it should look like once it's all done. So before we get this in the oven, we've got to grease our pan. We're going to be using a nice old cast iron bunt pan. You can use cast iron, non-stick, anything along those lines works fine. But regardless of what type type of pan you're going to use, you need to grease and flour it. So I'm going to use Crisco and just spread that all along the inside. Make sure to get all the crevices really good. And then we're going to dust it with flour. So again, we're just covering all these little spots with it. We've got our pan all greased and floured. From here, we're just going to pour all the batter in, and really we're just going to try to get it even, and we're probably going to go around it a couple times just so the batter's nice and evenly done here. And you want to be careful not to get it all along the sides. You want to try to get it all the way down into the bottom. Once you get it all in, you just want to kind of level it out a little bit.
Hey, Mama, it's not raining.
Okay. Some cakes you can shake the pan around to help. This one is so thick that it doesn't really do it all the way. And then we're going to get it in the oven at 325. It's really important that you do not preheat your oven. Alright, so this has come out of the oven. A toothpick comes in and out nice and clean. So we're going to take a plate, and it is time to flip this. You're going to place your plate just over top of everything. Just be careful because this is very, very hot. And then we're going to grab the handles here, and we are going to flip this over. Now it's pretty heavy, so be careful. Then we're going to get it down back on the counter, and you should be able to feel the cake come out. And there you go, a nice clean pan. It means we've greased and floured it nice and good. And you can either keep it this way, or you can flip it back. If you're doing one without a design, I think it looks really pretty flipped the other way because the crust on it actually makes a really neat, nice layer. But from here, we're gonna let this cool, and then we'll get to enjoy it soon.